Rarotonga's landfill, located in the inlands of Ararangi, has been in operation for 10 years. This landfill currently takes in household wastes, plastic bottles, aluminium cans and glass bottles. A settling pond has also been constructed to manage sewage waste within the landfill area. Recent interest has been raised about Rarotonga's waste facility, with speculations of the landfill already reaching its capacity limits. Members from the non-government environmental organisation Te Pukaria Society recently visited the landfill to observe what visual issues stood out.
I'm Kelvin Passfield from the Pukaria Society, and we just thought we'd come up here and have a look at the landfill site because we all know there's a serious waste issue on the island, so we thought we'd come and look at least one aspect of it. You see here they've separated the household waste into this pile over here. And here there's still a lot of plastic bottles and glass bottles and polystyrene containers, disposable nappies in amongst here. These are the things that can't be recycled, but because we're running out of room in the landfill, the ideal situation will be if they weren't put into the rubbish in the first place. So if we didn't use them, if we could find alternatives to disposable nappies, for example, alternatives to polystyrene containers that don't break down. If we used biodegradable paper plates or potato starch plates, for example, that sort of thing, then this sort of waste would be nowhere near as much as it is today.
From these pressures, the recycling team of 9 have started compacting plastic bottles, aluminium cans and general waste to fit in as much waste as possible to the minimal space left.
Here we have another part of the waste stream, the PET bottles, the plastic drink bottles that people buy their Coke or their drinking water or soft drinks in. You can see the good thing is they have been separated out of the rubbish by many of the households, not all the households as you saw before. Some people aren't doing it still, but many of them do. But in the end, they still end up here in the recycle division of the landfill centre up here. And the problem is they still don't have a way to recycle these, but what they are doing is they're compacting them whenever they get a break in their other work, they'll compact these PET bottles into bales so they take up much less room.
Sewage waste is also dealt to within the landfill through a series of settling ponds. At present, the assessment for capacity of the liquid waste treatment pond has been completed, with recommendations for the waste management team to continue monitoring over the next 6 to 12 months. From their assessment, the waste management team will have a better idea of whether an upgrade in capacity is required.
The other thing that's dealt with up here in the landfill area is the contents of the septic tanks and the other ways of handling sewage on the island. I think there's only 2 disposal companies that I know of, that's Tees and Estels. They use tankers. They'll go and pump out your septic tank when it needs to be pumped out, when it's no longer serviceable. They'll pump it out and they'll bring the waste up here. So there's a lot of liquid waste in those tanks, and the solids also, the solids from the toilet system, the results of what you're putting into the toilet every day. They'll bring it up here and they pump it into they empty it into the settling ponds. And the settling ponds are a series of ponds down at different levels where the solids will settle out and the liquids will run off, and then more solids will run off, settle out from the next layer down, and eventually they get to just the liquid, which is of course highly polluted or nutritious depending on which way you want to look at it.
In an interview conducted with Tinirao Tamarua, the manager of Rarotonga's waste facility, his response to rumours of the landfill being full were quashed, admitting the landfill was not full yet.
Te paone au e karikia te tato mea ngai titiri anga tita. No atu e me akarapoto mi tai atu nei I teitei kiru. E nā ora au ke maramata atu e te ngai mani a te ngai titiri anga tita harita ngai tika. I teitei au ta e aka ia taima. Te patu atu nei mato ia tai rira ke tano te leo ki au tai. So karikia.
Raratonga's landfill, which was established in 2005, had a lifespan of 15 years. Now in its 10th year, Tinirau is confident the landfill still has 5 to 6 more years of life, if we sort out our waste properly.
Kai naro ta kamara matu te mani anga te anga te mataiti 2005 mataiti te nai akamatai te nga tato nga ichiritai te yusi te tamana ko anga itiria te me ka po e tengo or marima mataiti e kie to tato nga mea te dinga nga chita mitiria mataiti mai te mataiti ka tengo or mataiti te tai tanga rima mataiti toi o teria tengo or marima mataiti te kranga ne e ka teria te rima mataiti Tira te mita ki roa tu me mako tato te iri tato chita te pa me kuta ne ka teria tu te mamatai. So te karanga neo e ka teria ki te mamatai. Te ekie to tato nga ina te nga chita.
The idea of having an incinerator to help with the management of waste was initially on the cards, but now the idea has been put on hold as concerns around the burning of plastics and the toxins produced are at large.
Ko te tau chita mana ko ia no ke me eumu ke tau ia chita no me te kitne tato ko te plastic are te plastic e pe mi tu ko to ton. Ni tau ia na karo ka te one ra tumatanga no te poisino karo ko me no te ua. E tamana ko ngate ara ke na ko ni tau ki ko tu kunu ti eu ia.
A solid waste strategy was approved by Cabinet in 2013. The assessment will be carried out for the next 6 months this year and will cover 3 parts. This includes a waste audit to identify the different types and quantify the rubbish received at Raratonga's waste facility, along with disposable options and legislation reviews.
Toko mana ko e apa e la sia e tratu mataiti ko anga e te plan te kapiki ko te National Solid Waste Strategy. Ko approve e te plan e te cabinet. Iroto e tia papa me akanono anga te pinga mata iroto e ka inauro e ki akarakara matatio ia ki asesi te turango te chita e ermani ki utai to tato nga e titiri anga chita ko tamana ko e te tangata i te rawi te anga ko e te project manager no te asesi anga te tamana ko anga ko tana anga i rera e turutu anga ka inauro ia e ki a rawe ko te mea moa ki a rawe e te tai audit Lorunga i te chita e ermani ki uta nei nga i riringa anga chita i te akarang e au e teo chita plastic mai ko e mo ina mai e at ka inauro i ki te e ata maata o ti au chita nā tirire aka ki te mairia no te prani anga no te ato mua e matara tato karu ko te mea moa te rātana ka akaru ko te rua norunga i teo option e teo tamana konga pe tato kimi rawanga anga i te takore anga i tato chita kananga tau e te mea mua me ka inangaro i tato nga i chichire anga chita kia akamata i atu ko ki teo tato arero ko te akamata mai kita ine ka neke kiuta so te tai mana ko e me kore me ka akara e mai te tai nga i outakiri no mani te nga i landfill nga i diringa anga chita ko te tai mana ko e ria norunga i te tau anga i chita ko te incineration ko te tai mana ko te tai mana ko e i roto i rira kananga tau e norunga i te au chita mi te moina pia te moina i onea e te te tu apinga era manikuta garoko e te recycle i te angara o tatato nga i titira nga chita e kone te mata nga te chita e ne kiuta e plastic e te moina pia ai nara te kapapu o tu e o te moina pia me anu mai kiuta nei o ia e te mata noroto mai te otera e te nga i deo pā e te nga i kaikawa e te mea teo nā pōro ka ero mai. Nō re te mātanga te me wibike te ki no te moina. Te pinga te ki akarakara i oki. Pene ke karo ko te moina e mani te pinga. Te ki tene tātou ati, tō atu kumo ka pōteon. Hatana tu mu ina te ke tawiri ia, yusi no te katua. Tire au mana ko era, ke taanga i te au mea. So ko teo mea te tāna ka akarakara e, ko te toru i au te tuanga e rera, akarakara e tā mātou te ture, nurunga i te waisi. Ko te toru tiri e tuanga. Tuanga mua, rawi e to te. Te rua te tuanga, akarakaranga e kakape e tātou teo mana ko roko e te tien. Te toru ria nurunga i tā tātou ture. Teo mea e te e toru.
Once the assessment is completed, these options will be given to government for approval as a guideline for long-term planning for our solid waste.
Te e rera te pau angai. Nioti o ki te assessment i te maani ia, ka pai koe te common. Nā te common i rera akarai rera ea a te kawinga no tātou, te ere ki ere turanku. No reo te angangati e rawi ane.
Crushed aluminium cans from Rarotonga's waste facility have been reused successfully, as just recently 1 container's worth of crushed aluminium cans were sent back to New Zealand, which added to about 1 year's worth of aluminium waste. Not only were the cans shipped off our shores, but in return, Rarotonga's waste facility received $10,000 for the bulk supply worth of cans. Tini Rao would finally like to encourage people to bring in their old light bulbs for free, as they can be safely disposed and recycled through a nifty new machine. This machine filters all the mercury and dust out of old light bulbs, leaving behind crushed glass, which is then sent back to New Zealand. Alana Smith for CITV News.